85% of the babies being killed are because a man did not take his responsibility. And unfortunately, you women have fallen into the lie that that is liberty. That you are now free to kill your own baby because you've given the man the freedom to not be responsible. So what do you mean? Well, 18 years of child support? Does a man want to have to pay for a baby that from a woman that he didn't really love? He just wanted to crawl in the sack with. He didn't love her. And women's liberation has given that man the right to be able to physically molest a woman and walk away. And so women go over here to these clinics and they kill babies thinking they are free. But I have this question for you girls. We have a saying that we use at the abortion clinic that every time a woman goes into the clinic, there's one dead and there's one wounded. Now here's what I want to ask you girls who are standing there holding the signs, keep abortion legal. Where are you in the middle of the night when that girl wakes up in terror over what she has done to that child inside of her? Where are you at that moment? Those of you who bravely stood out here and petitioned for the right of a woman to be able to help her boyfriend be irresponsible, where are you 10 years later? When she looks at her little, see, she will never forget, that woman will never forget this day. What is it, July 27th? She'll remember July 27th as the day she murdered her baby. Now, she may not know that right now. She'll never forget it. And every time she walks into a mall and she sees a little child in a stroller, she'll think of her baby. Every time she goes to a family reunion, she sees that her relatives have little children, she's going to think of the little child that she could have had, that's now 4 years old, could have been 5 years old. And unfortunately, when she has her first baby, she gets married and she has her first baby, and she looks into the eyes of that little child, she will understand horrifically what it was that she did. Are you going to be there for her at that point? Are you going to be there for her? Are you going to be there to pray with her and hold her hand and strengthen her and encourage her? Keep abortion legal. Now, you know something else I always notice? I always notice that there is a direct connection. There's a direct connection. I'm going to say this, better hear now. Okay, so there's a direct connection between lesbianism and abortion.
There, but Bobby probably has the music.
Stay with me now. We find out when we go to the abortion clinics that many of those who are standing for women's rights are lesbians. In other words, they are women who cannot reproduce. And even though they cannot reproduce, they want to make sure that heterosexual women cannot reproduce. Because why? Misery loves company. And of course we know this, don't we? We do know this. The Proverbs tell us that all those who hate me love death. And death loves us. It loves death. And unfortunately, you will become an accessory to a crime. And our friend Rusty Thomas said to us a few minutes ago, just because something is legal does not make it lawful. Lawful. You have a conscience. Every woman that you come in here and you advise them to have an abortion, you are an accessory to their wounding for the rest of their lives. You think you do a good thing. You think you do a good thing. Professing yourselves to be wise, you become foolish. You stand out here for women's rights and don't even realize that half of those babies, at least half of them were little women. Those little women didn't have any choice. They didn't have any choice. You're standing out here, you are permitting the greatest form of bullying thing. Big people picking on little people. Not only big people picking on little people, but big people picking on little people who have no voice. That's what abortion is. The battle for women's lives, the march for women's lives. Half of those little babies are future women. No one's marching for their lives. No one is marching for their lives. See, here's the thing. You're going to remember this day. You're going to remember this day. You're going to remember the words that are being spoken to you today. We're giving you warning to flee from your immorality. The scriptures tell us that God hates all workers of iniquity. Now, what is a worker of iniquity? See, a worker of iniquity is not a sinner. We have all sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. But you girls are workers of iniquity. In other words, you are not content in your own sin. You want to make sure others get involved with you as well. You are a worker of iniquity. God have mercy. God have mercy on your soul.